Got really annoyed with somebody recently. Tried to tell me that Venmo was cash. Like, there's people that go to college, they get education, they get good jobs, and they're raising families. And they don't understand that cash is a paper currency. But anywhooser, what we into? Well, I'm getting some material put together for a job still. We got the pipe cut on the last little episode. I'm cutting some angle iron now. These angle iron frames will be the frames that the equipment's going to set on the roof of my buddy's grocery store that we're building. And I've got a corner fit different types of angle iron together. This is a 4x4x1/4 angle iron we're using quite a bit of. Big units will be sitting on it. So I wanted to talk about a couple different ideas about corner fit and angle iron and why you may or may not do it this way or that way. The way I've done this right here, this corner fit for a 90-degree corner obviously is each angle's got a 45-degree cut on it. And when you do this, a lot of cases you'll also want to get a little angle cut on your vertical piece too, because if it's square, it won't fit together as good. That's one idea for angle iron, but it's not the only way to do it. I have a piece of 2-inch angle iron right here that I've coped that I can use to show you a different way to do a 90-degree corner cope on angle iron. So let's check this out. Now the way this is fit, it'll go into the other angle iron like this. So that's two different ways to do it. If you do it with a 45, you have to do it to all of them. You'll have to put a 45-degree cut on every end of every piece of your frame. If you cope it like I've got this 2-inch that I just showed you, that'd be a little bit different in that respect, because you would only need to put this cope on 2 of your pieces, on the ends of 2 of your pieces, because the other 2 pieces would just be a square cut piece. So if you're looking for a reason to do it this way, that might be worth considering for you. What if you're a contract welder with a helper and you got a saw? You want to keep your helper busy, you might take your torch, lay out these and cope them, and then just make your helper a cut list and give him your chop saw. And they might be 26 inches or whatever. Say, cut me 10 of them 26 inches for the 5 frames we're doing. So that might be a reason to do this. Would there be a reason to do the 45s? Well, I'm going to tell you, I've got a reason why I want 45s on what I'm doing right now. And the reason is it gives me some adjustability, which is something you're not going to have a lot of with the other type of coke. So let me try to show you about this adjustability. And the reason I want some adjustability on these, I'm just prepping this material. I'm cutting it to length. I'm putting the 45s on the ends, and I am not going to weld these frames together beforehand. I'm going to weld these frames together on the roof, and I'm doing that because that's going to be the easiest way to do it. These frames are big, nearly 20 feet long. Basically, I'm going to have a couple of frames that are 20 feet long, about 5 feet wide, and if you welded that together out of 4x4x1/4 angle iron, you'd probably have to have a piece of equipment to set it in place on that roof, and you'd have to reach way out. You'd almost have to have a boom truck or a crane and reach way out because it's kind of in the middle of the roof. You're not going to get it. You can't reach it with a telehandler. So it's not worth welding those frames together when you consider that all of these parts are parts I can carry around by hand until they're welded together. So to me, this is something that I could do completely by myself if I field weld it together, where I'd need a boom truck or a crane and a bunch of help if I weld it together beforehand. So I'm not going to weld it together beforehand. But that also means that when I get there, you know, I could have something that I need to fudge a little bit, maybe because of the way the pipes are welded onto the bar joist that these fit onto, or, you know, for one reason or another, I might want a little fudge room. So let me show you how this 45 thing will give me that fudge room. If you look at how I got this fit together, this is really, I've socked it together at a normal, what I guess you'd call a corner. This is just a bit of a equal corner. But what if I do this? See, what if I take this and I pull it way down? Well, right there, I made the edge of this flush with the back of that. So I, in effect, made this longer. I've completely changed the size of this frame just by doing that. But if I weld it together like this, it ain't going to look a bit different than if I welded it together corner fit like that. So let's go completely to the other extreme with it that we can do with this. What if I run that in until it's flush here? Well, I can still weld that up, but I just shortened this frame in that way quite a bit and made it wider here. Just mentioning that because that's the reason I want 45s on these frames. I can do whatever I got to do and make quite a bit of adjustment with this kind of a fit. And that type of adjustment, you're not going to have that type of adjustment with this. You know, you'd have to trim something, recut something, refit something, and maybe, you know, change the way it is to get it welded. So we're just getting the angle iron cut and prepped, and I just wanted to mention some different ways of you know, doing a corner on angle iron. And while I'm doing that, I think you can see here, you'll see steel suppliers will stack angle iron like this quite a bit. I'm going to be setting this on top of the super service truck in order to haul it to the location. I'll be putting it on the overhead rack on the super service truck. So you might want to notice the way that I've got this. Yeah, you got a piece of angle iron, and then you got a piece of angle iron, and then you lay a piece of angle iron in between those two, and then you put a piece of angle iron on top, which is locking those together, and then you can put another one here which is locking those together and creating another trough in there. Just another idea of how you can bundle angle iron together to haul it and it's going to be a lot less likely for it to, it's going to take up less space and be less likely for it to slide around and make a mess. Just like when you have channel, if you got quite a bit of channel you got to put on a trailer or a truck or take it somewhere, you know, you can have a channel like this and a channel like this, and then if you put a channel down into those two like that, you're just saving space. Just another idea. So I got to get back to work on this stuff. I don't have as much time today as I had hoped to. We had a pretty bad storm yesterday. Actually, up at my mom's house, there was a tornado and there was some property damage at the local stockyards, and it shut me down on what I was doing yesterday. So I have to compensate by getting more done today. But just wanted to mention that with the angle iron, and we'll get some more videos shot when we get further on the job, and you can see what all this does. Remember to learn to work with what you got. That way you always have everything you need. Hey y'all, we're coming to you from the break room here at NBS Welding. I want to show you the t-shirts we got. The NBS Welding t-shirts got NBS Welding on the front, American flag on the sleeve, great big NBS Welding here on the back. Helps the channel if you buy a t-shirt. If you're interested in a t-shirt, send Tina an email request, nbswelding@aol.com. Thank you.